I think this is part 4 of my of what I've got to say. So we're going to address now point number 3, that kids that are homeschooled are potentially kept from contributing positively to a democratic society. Okay. It would be interesting to get to ask what the thoughts were on this. I will start by saying that probably most homeschoolers understand their constitutional rights better than the average bear, and probably understand democracy and the history of our country better than the average bear. So, I don't know. I can tell you there's an awful lot of homeschooled people that seem to have done a pretty good job contributing to the world. Actually pulled up a little list. Let me just read you a few famous homeschoolers that I guess you can decide if they positively contributed. How about Frank Lloyd Wright? How about Thomas Paine or Florence Nightingale? Got pretty much all of the founding fathers and founding statesmen of the United States of America. They seem to be doing pretty well, contributing to our democracy. I know they're dead though, so who cares? Yeah, we got people like Andrew Carnegie. We got the Jonas Brothers. Look what they're doing for us. Louis Armstrong, Booker T. Washington, Laura Ingalls Wilder, Walt Whitman, Carl Sandburg, Beatrix Potter, C.S. Lewis, Charles Dickens, Mark Twain, Margaret Atwood. You like Handmaid's Tale, right? Okay. Hans Christian Andersen. We got composers out the yin-yang that were homeschooled. Mozart, Mendelssohn, Irving Berlin, and tons more. What about good old Ben Franklin or Eli Whitney or the Wright brothers? You know, where would we be without those guys? There's so many, you guys. There's so many. Number one, it seems silly to me to think that kids that are homeschooled can't grow up to contribute positively to a democratic society. But second of all, guess what? Nobody has the right to force somebody else to be a cog in the wheel of society. So, I don't know, I'm not on board with that philosophy. Here's what I do wish for the future of education in our country. You know, one of the things that was highlighted for me in the Harvard Magazine article was a fundamental distrust. If you believe the messaging in the article, parents are to be considered potential abusers that are incapable of facilitating a quality education for their kids or turning out good citizens of the world. Never mind that all of the statistics that are available would prove that wrong, but it's nonsensical even so. Even without the stats, you should know that. On the other side of this is the reaction of my fellow homeschool parents who feel very threatened by this messaging. And you know, the reaction is to highlight the intrinsic risks of turning their precious children over to strangers that may or may not have their best interests at heart, and to a system, an educational system that's proven itself time and time again to be tone deaf to the real ways that children learn and thrive. Give me a break. Solve your own problems, public education, before you try to come at us. What I really wish existed in our society is a true collaboration that's based on trust and mutual respect. Please, can we do something about this? I would love to see a situation where we see parents as experts on their children, that we believe that they want the best for their kids and that they're willing to put in the work to help their kids reach that potential. And then I want to see us honoring educators as people with a particular type of expertise that can help children learn and grow in different ways that may be beyond the scope of what a parent can provide. We could partner together more effectively and do more for our kids. I would love to see school districts that are willing to create and support hybrid options for students that are going to be best served by aspects of both the at-home and the at-school model. There are so many kids that need this and don't have the option, and then you're forcing kids into one lane or the other, and they lose because they're not really getting what they need, okay? This doesn't help society. This doesn't help kids. This doesn't help families or anyone. And it would be so great if we had a situation where we could put the kids first, we could trust each other, we could work together to find the solutions, to provide the support, have a situation where homeschool parents aren't afraid to say, I need help with this, or my child is behind at this. We are terrible at science, or whatever the thing is, please help us, and that they could get that help without judgment and without having to give up all the good things that they have on the homeschool side. It's such a powerful opportunity. You know, one size fits all doesn't work for much of anything, certainly does not work in the world of education. And we have like so many answers right there in front of us if we would just be willing to be open and try those out and leave our pride at the door and leave the power struggles at the door and just prioritize kids getting what they really need instead of trying to shoehorn them into a system that's not going to be right for everybody. So that's my hope for all of our children. For my kids, it's too late. I've got grandkids though that are homeschooled and that are coming up, and yeah, I really hope on the other side of this whole quarantine situation that maybe we have some room for fresh dialogue about how kids learn, how kids thrive, how we can work together, and what we've seen for benefits and needs throughout this experience. Thank you for listening to my very long rant. All right, that's it.